Yes. But you're in denial. If a good friend is saying to you, I'm not going to live past a certain age, it's like, maybe now I might, after being in this business for almost 40 years, I might say, you need to get some help. Here's the help that legally, if someone is going to engage in suicidal ideations, then I have the legal authority to sign Baker Act, what we call the Baker Act here in Florida, where somebody is put on a 48 to 72-hour hold. But people tell me that they're suicidal all the time. And I tell them that, hold on, because it's going to get better. Nothing stays the same. We don't live in a bubble. So, your situation will change. You just have to hold on and be patient and hold on to something, maybe the love of your family or your friends. Uh, and then you can, that those feelings of wanting to kill yourself will dissipate.
And I'm going to get a little bit more vulnerable here because I've shared on the podcast, my specific struggles with ideation in the past. But then also, even though I say the past, it still very much is sometimes a present thing, right? Like, you get into difficult situations, life becomes seemingly a little bit too much. And so sometimes my mind kind of goes back to that idea of like, well, maybe this is the scenario that is going to probably lead me there. And I'll say one thing that has been helpful. So after I came home and I was interacting with my daughter from daycare, um, she said, "I love my daddy," and that I told her I love you too, and that just put like a different battery in my back, right? Where it was just like, okay, here's somebody that not only means the world to me, but it seems like I mean the world to them too.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanna dive more into that, right? Because I feel my most alive. I feel my happiest when I'm around my daughter, right? Like I always tell people like I was at a Christmas party 2 years ago, and I left early, and so they were like, "Why are you leaving early?" I'm like, "I said, well, one, my daughter is way more fun than you guys, so I'm going home." Um, but yeah, it's when it comes to suicide. It is true where like a lot of times you do think about it a lot, right? And I found myself in those spaces where like I'm thinking about whatever difficult situation it is. I can find myself in a headspace for a very long time. And but then it's like those occasional glimpses of hope, those occasional glimpses of something better that kind of keeps you going. And I've always been in that place where it's always been something that's kind of kept me from doing it, right. Um, so what is your advice, especially from a counselor perspective, to those who are maybe considering suicide, um, but they're still holding on? Like, what are you telling them to do to make sure that they're still trying to hold on and still stay here and make the best out of the situation?